Good afternoon, students. Today, let's start with our English prose. Let's recap. In the last chapter, we had seen about the biscuit factory through a flowchart. I hope all have understood that lesson in a biscuit factory very well. Now, today, let's start with our next new lesson. But before starting the lesson, I would like to ask you all something. Have you all ever heard about the Olympic Games? Okay, let me tell you all about the Olympic Games. Sportsmen from many different countries of the world come together for the Olympic Games. A number of events are held, such as athletic events like high jump, long jump, running, gymnastic events, swimming and diving competitions, boxing, and wrestling matches, and many other things. The winners are given gold, silver, and bronze medals. An Olympic medal is an honor, and Olympic winner is considered to be a world champion. Few Indians have won Olympic medals so far. The first person to win a medal for independent India was a wrestler from Maharashtra. His name was Khashaba Jadhav. So, our today's lesson is also about the same person, that is lesson number 7, Khashaba Jadhav. Now, students, listen very carefully. I am narrating the story of Khashaba Jadhav. Please pay attention, all of you. Okay? So, let's start now. Khashaba Jadhav was born in a very poor family in a village called Goleshwar in Satara district. His family loved sports, especially wrestling. His father, Dada Sahib, was himself a wrestler. He had 5 sons. Khashaba was his youngest son. Dada Sahib himself taught wrestling to his sons. All their sons are good at it, but the best among them was Khashaba Jadhav. From an early age, Khashaba loved to watch wrestling matches. His father used to take him to see the match when he was just 4 years old. He used to sit on his father's shoulder and watch the match. At 10 years, he get into the akhada. What do you mean by akhada? It's a stadium. Akhada means stadium. He was the youngest in it and also the best, not only in his own akhada, but in the whole area. Khashaba loved other sports too. He was fond of kabaddi. Malkam. Malkam means a game, a pole used in the sports. Running, swimming, and gymnastics. He used to take part in all of these sports. He became strong and agile. Agile means able to move easily and quickly. He loved to discuss sports with his friends. He went to Rajaram College near Kolhapur, where wrestling was encouraged. Khashaba took part in many wrestling matches and won them all. He was the champion in that area, hence he was sent to wrestling at the state level and the national level. He became famous at the national level too. He beat the national champion Niranjan Das in 1948, so it was decided to send him to the International Olympic Games. When Khashaba Jadhav took part in Olympic Games for the first time, he found that the Indian and the international rules were different. He was used to wrestling in an earthen pit. The meaning of earthen pit means waste storage ponds or basins. But in the Olympic Games, matches were held on a mat. In spite of these differences, Khashaba Jadhav won a sixth place out of 42. The Olympic Games are held in every 4 years. In 1952, Khashaba wished to take part in the Olympics, but it was not an easy task. He had to prove his merit again. What do you mean by merit? Merit means quality of being very good and face the opposition of the officials. In those days, Olympic participants had to spend their own money for traveling and staying in the place where the games were held. It was very expensive. Khashaba did not have that much of money and he did not get money from the government. At last, the principal of Rajaram College gave his own house to get the money. And also the village people helped Khashaba. The 1952 Olympics held at Helsinki. There, Khashaba Jadhav opponents were Russia and the Gulf countries. He won the first 5 matches very easily. He won each match within 5 minutes. Then he had to face a wrestler from Japan. They both played well. It lasted for 15 minutes. Khashaba lost the match by just 1 point. He was tired after the match, but he was asked to wrestle with a Soviet wrestler immediately, which was against the rule. According to the rule, Khashaba should have rested for at least half an hour before the second match. Khashaba lost the match with the Soviet wrestler. Still, he had won bronze medal by finishing the third. When Khashaba returned, many people honored him. The people in his village gave him a grand welcome. A procession of 152 bullock carts waited him in his village of Goleshwar. The villagers carried their hero home with the sound of dhols. Khashaba Jadhav did not forget those who helped him. After winning the Olympic medal, he played the first match to raise the money not for himself but for the principal who had given his house for Khashaba. The principal got his house again. Khashaba won great honor for his country even when he did not have much help or facilities. Today, sportsmen have many facilities. Shouldn't we all try our best to win the greater honors for our motherland? So here I had finished my narrating the story. Hope all have understood very well. Now, students, it's the reading time now. We will read our lesson from the textbook. Please open your textbook, page number 13, and take a pencil in your hands for marking the hard words. Wherever I feel like telling you all the meanings, I will explain you all the meanings also along with it. Okay? So now, without wasting our time, let's start with our lesson. Lesson number 7, Khashaba Jadhav. Have you heard about the Olympic Games? Underline the word Olympic. Sportsmen from many different countries of the world come together, underline sportsmen, for the Olympic Games. A number of events are held. There are games, athletics, underline the word athletics, events like high jump, long jump, running, gymnastics events, swimming and diving competitions, boxing and wrestling matches, and many other things. The winners are given gold, silver and bronze medals. An Olympic medal is an honor. An Olympic winner is considered to be a world champion. Please underline the word gymnastics, swimming, diving, competitions, wrestling, bronze, champion. Few Indians have won Olympic medals so far. The first person to win a medal for independent India was a wrestler from Maharashtra. Underline the word Maharashtra. His name was Khashaba Jadhav. Please underline the word Khashaba Jadhav. Khashaba Jadhav was born in a very poor family in a village called Goleshwar in Satara district. Underline the word Goleshwar, Satara. But it was a family that loved sport, especially wrestling. His father, Dada Saheb, was himself a wrestler. He had 5 sons. The youngest of them was Khashaba. Dada Saheb himself taught his sons wrestling. They were all very good at it, but the best among them was Khashaba. From an early age, Khashaba loved to watch wrestling bouts. What do you mean by bouts? Bouts means matches. Underline the word bouts. His father took him to see the bouts from the time he was just 4 years old. He would sit on his father's shoulders and watch the bouts. At 10, he was the youngest to get into the akhada. Underline the word akhada. Akhada means stadium. Soon it became clear that it was also the best, not only in his own akhada, but in the whole area. Khashaba loved other sports too. He was fond of kabaddi, mulkam. Mulkam means a pole used in the sport, running, swimming, and gymnastics. Please underline the word mulkam, kabaddi, gymnastics. He took part in all of this. He became strong and agile. Agile means able to move easily and quickly. Underline the word agile. He loved to discuss sports with his friends. He went to Rajaram College in Kolhapur. Underline the word Kolhapur, where wrestling was encouraged. Underline the word encouraged. Khashaba took part in many wrestling bouts and won them all. In that area, he was the champion. Therefore, he was sent to wrestle at the state level and the national level. Khashaba Jadhav became famous at the national level too. He beat the national champion Niranjan Das in 1948. Underline the word Niranjan Das. That is why it was decided to send him to the International Olympic Games. Underline the word international. When Khashaba Jadhav took part in the Olympic Games for the first time, he found that the Indian and international rules were different. Also, he was used to wrestling in an earthen pit. What do you mean by earthen pit? That is waste storage ponds or the basins. Underline the word earthen pit. At the Olympic Games, the bouts were held on a mat. In spite of these differences, Khashaba Jadhav won a sixth place out of 42. The Olympic Games are held every 4 years. In 1952, Khashaba wished to take part in the Olympics again, but it was not an easy task. He had to prove his merit again and face the opposition of officials. Underline the word opposition, underline officials. Also in those days, Olympic participants had to spend their own money, underline the word participants, for traveling to and staying in the place where the games were held. It was very expensive. Khashaba did not have that much money and he did not get any money from the government. At last, the principal of Rajaram College gave his own house to get the money. Other people in Khashaba's village also helped. The 1952 Olympics were held at Helsinki. Underline the word Helsinki. It is the name of the place. There, Khashaba Jadhav had to face the opponents. Opponents means the competitors, you can say, from Russia and the Gulf countries. Underline the word opponents. He won the first 5 bouts quite easily. He won each bout within 5 minutes. Then he had to face a wrestler from Japan. They were both well matched. The bout lasted for 15 minutes. Khashaba lost the match by just 1 point. He was exhausted. Exhausted, please underline exhausted means tired after the bout. But he was asked to wrestle with a Soviet wrestler immediately. Underline wrestle, underline Soviet, underline wrestler, underline immediately. This was against the rules. According to the rules, Khashaba should have rested for at least half an hour before the second bout. Khashaba lost in the bout with the Soviet wrestler. Still, he had won a bronze medal by finishing the third. When Khashaba returned from Helsinki, many people honored him. The people in his village gave him a grand welcome. A procession of 151 bullock carts waited for him in his home village of Goleshwar. The villagers carried the hero home to the sound of doors. Please underline the word procession. Khashaba Jadhav did not forget those who held him. After winning the Olympic medal, he played the first bout to raise the money, not for himself but for the principal who had given his house for sending Khashaba to Helsinki. The principal got his house back again. Khashaba won great honor for his country even when he did not have much help or facilities. Please underline the word facilities. Today, sportsmen have many facilities. Shouldn't we all try our best to win greater honors for our motherland? So here we finish this lesson, Khashaba Jadhav. I hope all have understood this lesson very well. Now, after this lesson,